and welcome to another episode of Our Point of View. I'm your host, Jacqueline Shealy Lewis, and joining me as a guest host today is Mr. Leonard Jones.
Thank you
welcome,
so much.
Welcome. Appreciate you being here.
Yes, ma'am.
And our guests today are Jahari.
Hi.
And I knew I was going to mess it up. Say it for me. Say your name.
Jay Liana.
Jay Liana. I was ready to say the L instead of okay. So, how you guys doing?
We're good.
You're good? Okay, well, tell us a little bit about you. What school do you go to and how old are you?
I'm 14. I am homeschooled.
Okay. You plan on going to college or anything?
Yes, there's actually a university in Florida based off of animation and drawing. That is what possibly my focus will be on, since I am going to start making money off of the drawings I make.
Okay. Okay, so what grade are you in if you're 14?
I am 8th.
You're in 8th grade. Oh, so you're just in middle school?
Yes.
Okay, great.
No, wait. I'm in 9th grade. I'm sorry. I'm a freshman.
You're a freshman?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and what about you? How old are you and what school do you go to?
I am 18. I'll be turning 19 next weekend. I'm a freshman psychology major at Clark Atlanta University.
Oh, great. So what made you decide to get into that field?
Well, I love helping people, so and I love learning about the brain and why people do what they do. And so psychology was just so interesting to me that I chose that field.
Wow, that's awesome. You have any questions for them?
I believe you're an artist, correct?
Yes.
And you're in freshman in high school?
Yes.
And that's going to be your major?
Possibly. It's not confirmed yet. There's so many
it could
things
change at any time. You know how high school students are.
There are so many things I want to do, and I just basically want to live at college so I could just learn everything I wanted to.
Okay, that's good.
Art is a somewhat top priority, but at the same time, I don't know about my priorities yet, at least for college.
Right. Okay. So do you enjoy being homeschooled?
Yes, I do, actually.
Yeah.
I prefer being alone than being with my friends. And
Oh, wow. Really?
Not-
Okay.
not as a bad
That could
thing.
be a
Not as
good
a bad
thing. That could be a good thing.
but I do prefer being in solitude because I have the time to myself and I have the time to think about what's going on in my own head without worrying about the people around me, because I have this weird personality trait where when I'm around people, I start to worry like as a mother would, because I care about the well-being of all my friends. So when I'm around them, I care about them as a mother would should.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. But that's the reason why you don't want to be around them, because you care about them.
I feel like I would be a little overprotective as a mother.
But that could be a good thing, though. That could be a good trait.
I feel like
Keep them out of trouble.
I feel like I'd be one of those parents who, when the child is walking down the stairs, you tape a bunch of pillows onto their body, and just in case they trip, they land on the pillows. I think that's the type of parent I would be.
Okay, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So, what do you plan on doing once you graduate from college?
Well, I'm not sure exactly which field of psychology I want to go into yet. There's so many different subfields, but I'm looking into industrial organizational psychology.
That's great.
And an industrial organizational psychologist, we basically interview people for jobs. We help people figure out which job is the best for them. We also help companies figure out which person is the best person for a job that, they have open and things like that. So that's what I'm looking into doing right now.
Okay. So now you guys are a part of a youth council.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? We're not going to get into too much of it, but just tell us a little bit about the youth council that you're a part of.
Okay, so the Youth Advisory
She gave you that look
Council,
like you talk.
it's basically a program for teenagers, and what we do is we put on different types of events just to educate teenagers and also parents on different issues that we face, warning signs to look for, and also just how to prevent it and how to help if you find that your child is in a situation that they need help.
Okay. And so what information do you have about it?
I think it is actually a wonderful organization to help teens who are going through domestic violence in a relationship-wise with dating, and to help prevent this from going further into the future.
Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about when we come back. We're going to be talking about teen dating violence. So teens go through domestic violence as well, unfortunately. That's what we're going to talk about when we come back. We'll be right back, more with Our Point of View in a moment.
It's where a cowgirl can meet 480 horses. Where a Labradoodle owner can meet their next hybrid. Where the crew can meet its third row. and where a soccer mom can meet her MVP.
Yeah.
Over 500 million connections made. Find the car you'll love. We met on Cars.com.
Nope. Backspace.
Feels like we started searching 2 hours ago. Feels like we never gonna find this show. No.
Get it, flip it, tip it,
Yeah. Hey Google.
Hi, how can I help?
Oh yeah.
Crest presents
I got this. I got this. I got this.
Start your day right with Crest and get ready to face anything with a smile.
I got this.
Try Crest. It works.
Hello and welcome back to Our Point of View. Today we're talking to Jahari and Jay, and we're talking about teen dating violence prevention. They're members of the Angie's House Youth Advisory Council, and we're going to be talking about teen dating violence prevention. And our guest host is Leonard. He's going to be jumping in there. We're going to be asking you guys some questions. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, well, start out by telling us, what is teen dating violence?
Okay, so teen dating violence is the verbal, emotional, or physical abuse between two people in a relationship.
Or sexual.
Or sexual, yes, that's right. Or sexual abuse between two people in a relationship. And we see it happening a lot today in our youth. You know, people are starting to date younger. I see middle schoolers, you know, with boyfriends and girlfriends. So it's an issue that's really, really, really prevalent today.
Okay, so you're saying that this kids are starting to date earlier.
Yes.
Are they getting permission from their parents to do this?
No.
So they're just...
Some children do keep this a secret from their parents, or some parents are too laid back and just say, it's fine, they'll be fine. And they don't realize the dangers of dating at a young age.
I think that sometimes like dating could be like a trip to the mall or something like that with younger people. When you say like they're 14, 15, meeting at the movies, things like that.
But they go out as a group?
Because no one has a driver's license or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So usually parents are probably dropping their kids off, or the kids are getting rides places, and these are what they actually call dates, right? Okay.
Yeah. But they're going out as a whole group.
Yes.
But you have some of the boys and the girls, and of course they're going to be all hugged up and
The
everything.
meetup spots.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Okay. Now, what are some of the signs of unhealthy relationships?
If you see physical bruise markings or cuts on someone constantly, that could be a sign that the partner has been beating or sexually or physically abusing the victim. A change of behavior or mood than usual. They could be afraid of their partner or feel a discomfort when they're around them. They would avoid being with their friends and family to spend time with them.
Is that something that they would want to do? They would want to spend time with that person, or they just don't know how to get out of that situation?
It could be either they don't know how to get out of the situation, or the partner could be threatening them to change all their plans just to be with them.
Okay.
They could either threaten to hurt the victim or to hurt themselves, which makes the victim feel guilty.
Oh, wow. So it's a mental thing a lot.
Yes.
Oh, so what do you think about that? You know, what do you see as some of the signs?
Grade slipping is another sign. If you know a person is usually a very good student, you know, and their grades start to change. A person who is just really like off to themselves more than usual. A person who's outgoing, you know, they change. Yeah, and you know what she said are mostly, you know, the signs to look for in teenagers.
I got a question. What do you think is an appropriate age to start dating?
25, 26.
My son's 20.
He's still too young.
Yeah.
Well, my mother has always told me that if I ever wanted to start dating, it had to be somewhere during my college years, because then, or at least above 18, because then I would be more mature to understand what dating would be like.
Yeah, and when you're younger, you should be focusing on school,
Yes.
not boys or girls. Yeah.
When does the psychological stuff start happening? Is it because of the conversations? How does another child perpetuate this type of violence on another child? We know, like with adults, you can take them away somewhere, you can move, you can separate people. But there's a little bit something different here when it comes to younger people.
And so in teen dating violence in teenagers, it's mostly about control. So the person is like, well, if you love me, you would do this for me. So if you love me, you would do that for me. And that's where it starts, as young people, we tend to have our emotions, all out of whack, and things like that. So it's easier to get into someone's head when they have low self-esteem, when they're not fully aware of who they are, they're still maturing, they're still growing into themselves, finding out, what they do like and what they don't like. So it's really, really easy to get into younger people's heads and start controlling their minds like that.
Wow. That's like really.
It's going over our
Yeah.
heads, I think, because of that type of involvement already at such a young age.
At such a young age. Yeah.
Because especially when you're still developing, I can't imagine a 14 or a 15-year-old talking about loving anyone to begin with. And how does a person prey on other kids this way? Is it like with the adults where you may see a predator or some type that seeks to control someone? Or can it happen? Or is this person displaying certain characteristics or something like that?
Well, there are always red flags, to look for in the beginning of a relationship. But sometimes it's just a sudden change, in the beginning, you go through the honeymoon phase, lovey-dovey, you're going on the dates, he's buying you food, he's taking you to the movies, you guys go to the mall, and then all of a sudden, he asks you to go to the movies, but you have plans with your friends, so he's upset now, why do you want to spend time with them instead of spending time with me? And so it really gets into just making your partner feel like what they're doing is wrong. And, yeah, it's just really about control. It's just a mind thing, with teenagers, and it's happening a lot. Actually, 1 in 10 high school students will be hit physically or hurt by their partner. 1 in 10 high school students.
Wow. So what causes the person to to act like this, to want to be in control, want to take control of the person? Do they have a problem at home? Is there a problem with their home life? Is there a problem with them mentally? Is there a problem just a low self-esteem and everything? So
That could be the cause of it. It could be because of a horrible lifestyle that they are experiencing, or it could be just how they're taught around their parents or just by other people. Because when you are exposed to certain types of behavior, you are more likely to act that certain way. So if you see, let's say, for example, you saw your dad hitting your mom because she broke a plate. You, as a young child, you would possibly imitate that behavior. In the future, you would possibly do the same thing to your future wife or future girlfriend.
And you would think that's correct?
Yes, because you experienced that from seeing your parents doing that same thing.
Okay. So do most people who have low self-esteem, most teenagers or kids who have low self-esteem, are they attracted to teenagers who have low self-esteem, so that way they will be able to control them?
Actually, how I see it happening, people, guys mostly, I actually watched a documentary, and it was this guy, a high schooler, and he was saying, guys look for girls who they know have issues at home, because it's easier to get into their heads. It's easier to control them and get them to do what you want them to do. Someone with low self-esteem, you're coming to them and you're telling them every day, you're beautiful, I love you, whether you mean it or not. Just them hearing something that they don't hear every day is going to make them develop a bond with you, and have a relationship with you. And so, they're going to do anything to keep that relationship, because it's the only, that type of relationship is the only relationship that they have, and it's helping them with their low self-esteem, or they think
That sounds
it
like
is.
gangs.
It sounds a lot like that. And,
Like a gang.
I'm just sitting here wondering, trying to picture myself that long ago.
I know, right?
I didn't have I never wanted to control anyone like that. So obviously we must be dealing with people that have some emotional issues. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
They come to the relationship with emotional issues.
But, you know, things like that, you know, they don't just come to you and display it right away. You know, it happens gradually. So, yes, you know, your partner might come into the relationship with emotional issues, but you won't know until they start displaying those signs.
Because if it's really young, it's probably the first relationship. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense, because I think as an older person, I'm trying to grasp at that age, why would you give anyone that much of yourself to be controlled, actually? But it sounds a lot like that whole gang mentality.
Yeah, it does. It does.
On a certain level.
It does. And what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about this. And we're going to talk about the parents. What should the parents do? How should we be able to recognize the signs when our child is going through a situation like that? Okay? We'll be right back, more with Our Point of View.
You know, ABFF represents the very core of what has always sustained us as a people, community.
This is such a crucial space where we can see ourselves
and feel represented.
A film festival that said, you are enough. This is where I started, where Ryan Coogler started.
The first major festival to have my work online.
Thank you for celebrating our art.
I feel the love.
There's a whole lot of different opportunities out there. Don't fear to fail. And you learn from your experiences. Then you learn how to become the best version of you, and you learn what you really like. You're the one who decides your fate. Just stay focused.
Welcome back to Our Point of View. We're talking about teen dating violence prevention. When we left off, we were talking about how the guy is controlling the girl, trying to control the girl. And my question was about the parents. What signs can the parents, you know, what can we do to see it? Well, first of all, we said no dating. So we're not expecting you to be out here dating. If you're not dating, then you're not in that situation. But we all know as parents that they're going to do what they want to do.
Yes.
You know, the more you tell them not to do it, they're going to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but what do you think some of the signs that we can, you know, that we would be able to see as parents?
Again, you can see a physical sign, which is bruising, markings, or cuts that have occurred constantly. Or a change of behavior or mood, knowing if you knew your child, you would know that he or she would not act in a certain way. You would notice their insecurity or their low self-esteem or a lack of being with their friends.
So if we see something like that, what do you think we as parents should do? I mean, are we going to just assume that it's, you know, the people that they're hanging out with, the kids that they're with? You know, or, you know, what are we going to, what should we do about it?
I think the best thing to do would be to talk to your child to make sure what they were doing outside of the house, what they did outside of school, to see who they were with and what exactly they were doing. And if they were dating with someone, I think it'd be smart for a parent to talk to the partner, see what they are like.
After I done told my child, no, they can't date, I'm supposed to go talk to the person they're dating?
Yes.
I don't think that's going to be a good conversation.
I know we're probably going to give out some information later, but how does a person get in contact with your counsel to get help if they have these problems?
Well, there are many different resources today for people going through teen dating violence. I recommend everyone have, you know, a trusted adult that they can go to and talk to about, you know, just anything. You know, even if you can't go to your parent, you should have someone that you trust enough that you can go to and let them know, I need help.
Another friend's parent.
Another friend's parent, yeah. Or, you know, a counselor at your school, or, you know, just someone, just a mentor from your community that you can go to and just let them know what's going on.
But once you do that, that adult should go back to the parent or tell you to go back to your parent and talk to your parent. And if you don't, they need to go and tell them, especially if something's happening where you could possibly be hurt.
Yes.
your parent needs to know about this so they'll know how to deal with it.
And I know we usually talk about the aggressor as being a male, but are females being aggressive as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Anyone can be an aggressive partner. It doesn't matter, female, male, gay, lesbian, straight, bi. It does not matter who or what that person is. They can always be an aggressive person.
Wow. So what's the difference there? What's the difference between a male being aggressive and a female being aggressive?
Well, most people just think, males are always the aggressors, but that's not the case because, like we stated earlier, teen dating violence is about control, so your partner, whether it's your girlfriend or your boyfriend, always wanting to know where you're at, who you're with, what you're doing, what are you wearing, when are you going to come back, things like that. That's being controlling, and that is part of teen dating violence. And girls do that a lot, I want to know where you're at. I need to know who your friends are, who all is going to be there, and things like that. So, yes, girls definitely can be the aggressor in a teen dating violence situation.
Regardless of gender, anyone can be the aggressive person in the relationship. I've actually did meet someone who was an aggressive person in a relationship. It was a few months ago. I was on an online community for lesbians, and I was in a chat group with some friends. And there's a girl there named Ashley, and another girl there named, I don't remember her name, I just remember her username, which was Jalen. And Jalen was being extremely controlling over Ashley, telling her who she can't be with, what she's supposed to do in her life, and basically all of that. And they were like online dating. So as a little joke, we were all playing around in the chat group, and I virtually hugged her because I think she was crying in the chat group, but I do not actually remember. So I hugged her, and Jalen got mad at me because I was touching her girlfriend. And I'm like, yo, what's up? What's wrong? And she starts getting extremely aggressive to me, saying, don't be touching on my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend. Don't try to hit on her. And then Ashley starts getting angry, saying, I can be with whoever I want to be. She's just a good friend. She's just trying to keep care of me. And then Jalen starts going off on Ashley, and then they break up. Ashley goes into a deep depression for several months, and I was there to comfort her. And then Jalen started thinking that we were dating, and I started to, quote-unquote, replace her. But I wasn't. I was just there to be there for Ashley because she was obviously going through a tough time, because this is the same thing that happened to her twice. And Jalen tried to get Ashley back by sending her sweet little emojis and emoticons, like saying all these sweet, lovely things like, I miss you, I love you, let's go on another day, I can make you feel better. And she started threatening me with death threats, actually, saying to stay away from Ashley or I will kill you. And always like sends me like knife emojis, and I'm like,
they make those?
Yeah, they do. And
you kind of just jumped me into outer space.
I know.
Really.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Because at first because it sounds like young people imitating adults.
Yeah.
Yes.
As far as the things you were talking about on what to look for. But then we also have to think about that social media part.
Yeah.
Because
And
this was
it's
a
an
whole
online
virtual issue.
Yeah.
I think you just described to us,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's virtual.
Yes.
Okay.
Which, again, this is why it didn't scare me, because it was virtual. She doesn't know where I live. I never put my location or state where I lived. So she didn't know where I was. She didn't know where I lived. She doesn't know who I actually am. I use a fake name. I use my OC name for one of my drawings. Her name was Aisha, and that's the name I went for all of the communities I was in. So that was just my fake name. I never gave my real name to anyone unless it was a personal friend that was on the same community as me. But she kept asking me, I will find you, and if you better stay away from Ashley. But I wasn't scared because, like, you don't know who I am or where I'm at, so you can't do anything. You can just threaten me all you want, but I'm still going to keep care of Ashley because of the pain that you have caused her. And Ashley eventually blocked her. Jalen made 3 other accounts to talk to her and continued to block her. And then Jalen starts making up lies, saying that, oh, me and her are like best friends now, so we're all cool. But that wasn't true because I didn't trust her enough to call her a friend.
So this was all online?
Yes,
They never even met? Nobody has ever met?
No, none of us has ever met in person.
Okay.
I have talked to Ashley before on like a video call once, but I have never met her physically. And Jalen, I've never actually talked to her, like voice call. All of it was just chat. So I've never actually seen her face or heard her voice or any of that. I've heard Ashley's voice and I've seen her face, but never Jalen's. I think she was just trying to hide it so I wouldn't tell an actual person, like the police.
Okay. Wow.
How did the organization start?
The organization?
Yes, the council. How did the council start addressing these issues?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so what we do is we do a teen dating violence forum every year, and we also do a bullying poetry slam. And the whole program is put on by teenagers because teenagers talk to other teenagers. You know, they go to their friends when they're going through things. You know, when they need advice, they don't go to adults, they go to their friends. And so we think it's important that they get this information from other teenagers, you know, because when they're talking to adults, they feel like adults are just talking at them, you know, telling them what to do. But when you're talking to a friend, you know, you're more comfortable.
Okay, well, you know what? When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation talking more about the Angie's House and, you know, what it is that you all do, the organization do, the different projects that you are doing and all. We're going to talk about that when we come back. We'll be right back.
Alexa, call Ashley.
Yeah, it's about time you called that girl. No, he just talked to that girl 2 hours ago. You gotta let love marinate. Put love in that bag to marinate. Love gonna be in that bag like, I can't wait to talk to him tomorrow. What? And then after it marinates, you're gonna pull it out. JB, who's Alexa? Say it, JB. You Alexa. That's right, I'm Alexa.
Thanks, guys, but I'll take it from here.
When you use Groupon in your neighborhood, you're not only saving money, you're also supporting local business. I mean, what kind of person wouldn't want to support local business?
I hate local business. Family owned, even better. Shut it down.
When you save in your neighborhood, it feels so good. It didn't feel good for him, though. Download the app and save. Groupon.
In every second, you prove someone wrong or right. The fans, the city, or yourself. Every second is a moment you'll never have again. What will you do with yours? Will you take control and deliver on your promise, or forego your fate and leave it to chance? Every second you waste is a second closer to second.
Welcome back to Our Point of View. We're talking about teen dating violence prevention, and we're here with Jahari and Jay, and also Leonard. And tell us a little bit about the organization Angie's House. Tell us what it is that Angie's House do for the for students, for young kids.
Okay, so Angie's House is a nonprofit organization, and through Angie's House we have the Youth Advisory Council, and it's a council of teenagers. We open up the applications every year, and you know anyone is encouraged to apply. And what we do is we put on different programs. Last year we did a bullying poetry slam, and we also do a teen dating violence forum every year, and we give out different information on different issues facing teenagers, like having low self-esteem, going through bullying, teen dating violence, and things like that. So we give out information on signs to look for. We also give out resources, you know, and information on what you should do if you find yourself in either one of those situations. And we also give information to parents, you know, on just because a lot of parents, they don't know what's going on with their kids, you know. Social media has evolved so much, and so we give information to parents on, you know, what they can do to prevent their child from ever being put into a situation like that as well. And all of the information comes from teenagers. So we think that's important because, you know, teenagers go to other teenagers. They talk to each other. And we feel like if they get the information from someone who's around their age, then they'll be more likely to take it in and really take it seriously.
Okay. So what have you experienced with being part of Angie's House?
I have experience of how to see the signs of someone going through a domestic abuse or a relationship. I've learned how to come out to an adult about this and how to address it to the victim.
And how long have you been a part of this?
I believe a year or two, I think. Okay. Like a year or two, but I don't quite remember.
And what made you decide to want to be a part of Angie's House?
Because I have this motherly personality of how I want to do everything I can to protect my friends and family. So I think being part of Angie's House means that I have a chance to protect those who are being through a domestic abuse or any type of horrible relationship, and do what I can to protect them as a friend and as like a motherly person.
Okay. And what made you decide that you wanted to be a part of it?
Well, my mother is a very active parent, and so she always looks for different programs to put us in, and she found Angie's House, and it was actually something when she told me about it, I was very interested. And so I went to one of the meetings, and I just knew I wanted to be a part of this program. It was just, it's great.
That was going to be one of my questions. What is the age limit, and do you encourage parents to get involved?
Yes. Okay, so we look for middle schoolers through high schoolers. I graduated out last year, so I'm actually the program assistant this year. And so we look through middle schoolers and high schoolers, and we do ask parents to get involved. We always encourage parents to come and sit in on our meetings when we're planning our events and when we're just going over different information, because this stuff is important. It's important that people get this information.
Okay. Okay, now with your teen dating violence forum, you have the pledge. Explain that to us, please.
Okay, and so the pledge is basically, it's a pledge that our participants and the people in our audience will take at the Teen Dating Violence Forum, saying that I will protect myself and the people in my community from going through things like this, and the knowledge that I get here at the Teen Dating Violence Forum, I will take it out and, share it with people, because it's things that people need to hear.
Okay, do they sign something?
Yes, we will be saying it verbally, and we also will have pledge contracts for them to sign there. Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
so how often do you have meetings? Do they have meetings?
We do, I think once a month.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of? Yeah, once a month on a Saturday we meet up to talk about what our next plan will be, what our next event will be, and what we can do to help the community.
Okay, tell us a little bit about the projects that you have coming up, and your social media, your contact information in case there's a young person who wants to get in touch with you.
Okay, well, we are making a book. We had a poetry slam, and we're going to write down all the poetry that everyone wrote, and we're gonna put it in a book, and on the side of it's gonna have the meaning of it and what you take in from the poem. I'm designing the imagery for the cover.
Okay.
And then we have the Teen Dating Violence Forum is next weekend, Saturday, February 23rd. It's going to be, I believe at 1 p.m. It's at Nehemiah Empowerment Ministries. Everyone is encouraged and welcome to come.
And where's that located?
It's in Conyers, Georgia. And you can look us up, Angie's House, on Facebook. That's the platform. You'll be able to find our other platforms on there. Any information you need, you'll be able to find it on our Facebook page.
Well, ladies, thank you so very much for being with us. That was really informative, and the parents really need to know what their children are doing. Even though we try, they're going to keep it away from us anyway. But we need to try harder. We need to try harder. But thank you guys so very much for joining us. Really appreciate you, and best of luck with the council, with everything that you're doing, and because that's great. That's something that we all need. Yeah. And thank you for joining us. And just remember, everything you heard and everything we said was our point of view. We'll see you next time.